if I could be honest with you guys, like, a lot of the reason why I don't want to continue my spa is I have a Zoom meeting today real quick, and I'm gonna try to get some of my stuff out of my spa. It's bittersweet because I was like, let me give myself a year, see how I like it and see how it goes. So it's bittersweet. It's something that I'm very happy to get rid of because it's a headache, and I don't want no drama, no stress. Some of the things that I've experienced at my spa, like, I have to be real. I'm gonna tell you what soured my spa for me. What soured my spa was, okay, so this isn't all of it, but this like put the icing on the cake for me. I don't have any windows. Okay, I have windows in my spa, but it's like they don't open. You know what I mean? So like they open for the light, but they don't open for ventilation. I've had some situations where I needed fresh air, okay? And I was just like, if I could be honest with you guys, like, a lot of the reason why I don't want to continue my spa is besides the fact of like being cooped up and, you know, just being stuck in a room all day, and it's like I have a steamer and I don't have any ventilation. But also, like, I've had some clients, and I'm not calling anyone out, and you know, if you know it's you, then you know it's you, but just know, like, I experienced it as well, so it's still my experience. I've had some clients that their hygiene was not up to par, okay? And this is like the first time I experienced it. It was somebody's feet, and I was just like, you know, it is what it is. They just got off work. Listen, don't get straight off work and go get a Brazilian. If you've been working all night, you've been sweating all night, your hygiene is not up to par, don't go get a Brazilian wax. Like, for real. It sucks because, like, I'm not somebody, like, I'm not a bully. You know what I'm saying? I've never been a bully. I can fight, of course, but like, I'm 44. Who wants that? Who wants to be on some drama? You know what I mean? So, I don't want to be confrontational, especially when, like, my spa atmosphere is somewhere for you to come and relax. But I've had some very bad Brazilians. I've had Brazilians where you didn't even know that they were going to smell bad until they did. Like, initially you take off your clothes, you're fine, I'm prepping, I might even wash that area. So like, I might be washing and then be like, okay, there was more dirt than there should have been. But that's when, you know, you realize that, like, this is bad. I'm very grateful that I've never just like called anybody out, but I started creating these little like flyers to be like, hey, make sure you're you know, the do's and don'ts before a Brazilian. Pretty much, like, this is a good way to tell you. So if I put this in your bag, or if I might have put it in your bag and you don't even have an issue, I put it in everybody's bag, okay? I wasn't just putting, you know, like, aftercare instructions and stuff like that. It doesn't matter. Everybody should have it. Give it to your sister. A lot of women don't know that you should exfoliate before you get a Brazilian. I actually love waxing. Like, I love waxing. I was just like, man, if I can't wax, then I really don't want to do the spa. Like, I was gonna have just like a waxing bar. I enjoy waxing. I'm very good at it. I loved waxing. Facials are cool, but I more or less want to help people as far as like their acne and help them feel better and look better. The relaxation part of it is cool, don't get me wrong, but like, my passion, I would much rather take someone that has a bunch of acne and I can fix your life. That's what would make me happy. opposed to like just, you know, doing facials all day. Taxes. Even when I filed taxes, like I specifically asked the tax lady what I needed to do, and she was just like, oh, you're good. And then I got a letter from the IRS, and I'm like, okay, so now this is a whole different debacle. You got to stay up to par with your sales tax. You got to stay up to par with, like, up to date with just a lot of stuff, which would be fine if I'm just running the spa. But the fact that I'm running the spa and working the spa all day long, if I don't work, I don't eat. So if I'm not getting clients back to back, then I'm not going to eat. Or if I get clients, for example, and somebody's like, hey, can you see me in an hour? I sure can, because I need my money. But that means I got to stop whatever I'm doing or whatever engagement I'm in, you know, to go and get that money. And of course I'm going to go get the money. I just want to be more in a position where I own a spa and I could have estheticians come and booth rent and get their own money, but I could provide everything they need. So that is my next goal, which, you know, I always make my goals. I always do what I say I want to do. I would much rather do that than I'm more on the back end and I'm not dealing with people directly. And I'm going to make sure that all my estheticians have windows. You know what I mean? Just because some of these situations wouldn't have been so bad if I had a window, you know what I mean? Like if I had a window to like air out the room, you know what I mean? If it wouldn't have been so bad. I mean, I've had some feet situations where like, if you know, I'm gonna, you know I'm on my way to your feet because I've asked you for permission to rub your feet, or do you want your feet rubbed? So I've had people where like they don't take off their crusty socks before I touch their feet. And I don't mean just like barely, you know, like socks get dirty. You know, I hike. I know socks get dirty. But like, I'm talking about like crusty socks. Like they can stand on their own. And you know I'm on my way to do this. And you don't say, well, let me at least take these crusty socks off for you. You allow me to do it. And then I do it and I'm like, okay, you know, maybe this person was in a rush or whatever, and no, your feet still smell bad too. So I don't know if other estheticians have experienced this. I'm thinking like I can't possibly be the first person to have experienced this. So I was like telling my brother, I mean, I've told people the situation and they're like, oh girl, I would have did this, I would have did that, I wouldn't have let that happen to me. And you know, it's really weird until you're in that situation to like what you would do, you know what I mean? Also, like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings and be like, hey, you stink, you know what I mean? But like, I've even mentioned it before. I might have said something like, hey, you need to make sure you take a shower and you come in fresh for a Brazilian. If you're coming in for a facial and you've been at work all day, I don't really care as much because I'm only touching your face, maybe your feet, but then you have the right to say no. I would never show up somewhere and my feet aren't okay. One of my best clients was always late, and I hate it because like, this is a client that spent a lot of money with me, but she was always late. And I would tell her like, hey, I'm not going to be able to see you if you come 30 minutes late because I have somebody right behind them. But they were my most loyal customer. They were, you know, the one that was going to spend the most money. They're going to tip whatever I ask for. They're giving me, they're buying products, but they're always late. And so, you know, like 10 minutes late, I was just like, it's worth it. I'm not finna trip because, you know, I'm not gonna trip because they are paying like they weigh. But after so long and people start to get comfortable with being late, they start to get too comfortable with wasting your time. So I had to tell them a bunch of times like, hey, you know, don't be late. I'm not gonna be able to see you if you're late like this. And they didn't care. Like, for real. honestly, they really didn't care. They didn't make any effort to be on time, no matter what I said. Or even if I would refuse to see her sometimes, she would just always be late. So I got to the point where I'm like, okay, if I refuse to see her, I'm about to pass up $200-$300 that I need. So I would start to allot an hour before she came in for her to be late. Like, when she came in late, like, girl, I was just rushing. And I'm like, it's all right. You know what I mean? Like, try not to be late again, or I'm not going to be able to see you. But really, I already had allotted that time for you, and I didn't book. But that also means that I'm not booking during that hour that I'm giving you to be late. And then people get too comfortable with disrespecting you. Like, once you start to deal with disrespect, people start to get very comfortable with disrespecting you. As a business owner, I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to be crappy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not going to do that to none of my clients. Because I love my clients, and there's some people that I'm really like, damn, I'm really gonna miss you, but it just got out of hand. And so sometimes it'll be like 15 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes it's an hour. Like, come on now, you really just had me waiting a whole hour for you to come, you know what I mean? And so I ended up letting that situation go. Be on time to y'all's appointments. For real, just be on time to your appointment. I'm somebody where, like, I'm gonna be like 30 minutes early, or at least like 15. You know how many times in my life I gotta be like, sorry, I'm a little bit early. Or people are like, hey, I'll be with you in just a second, and I'm like, no, it's no problem, I know I'm early. Like, that's one thing I got from my mom that I really am grateful for. And just to have like class. And I would never go into a spa to get work done and I know I stink. I would have to be like, girl, give me a minute, I'm gonna have to reschedule. Or like, I just wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't sit there, or I would say, well, let's do my face today, let's not do my feet, girl, I've been working all night. You know what I mean? Believe me, no esthetician is gonna be like offended that you say no to your feet. This is for you. We're not just sitting here like so super happy to do feet. You know what I mean? It's for you. So it's not like you say no and someone's gonna be upset like, oh no. We're not. What else? Like, I had some really good clients and people that were just super dope, and I built so many good relationships and just different like connections that I made, that people will lay on your table and tell you their entire life. And sometimes they want to just vent, sometimes they want advice. I'm gonna miss that part of it. I'm gonna miss the connections that I made, the different people that I met through different booking apps. That, I've had people come through, get a Brazilian, and they're breastfeeding while they're getting a Brazilian, and we're talking about their brand new baby and just their life, different walks of life, different people. I am gonna miss that, but like I said, I will return when it doesn't stress me out as much, and it's something that I know I really want to do. I just know that I'm more of the spa owner than I am the esthetician. This is still cool that I'm licensed because, I still wanted to be educated. But also I know that if an esthetician ever can't make it, or I need to fill in, or maybe I'll take clients here and there and just be really picky and choosy. But this is something that, like, I'm glad that I did experience. Life is about experiencing. I'm not doing this again. I'll open a spa again when I can open it exactly the way that I want to open it, which means investing a lot of money into it. Initially, my mom was supposed to go in on the spa with me, so things would have been a little bit different. But I ended up, just doing it all on my own, like all out of pocket, everything on my own, and without a loan or a grant. Like, I just had to settle for the space that I had. I was just, doing the best I can, pretty much. Everything that I got from my spa, I got in school. And like I said, it was out of pocket. There was no like lump sum of money. I literally just like would get money and put it into my spa. I'm just like over it. I'm ready to do something different. And it's hard when like your whole family is depending on, you to bring in clients, make that money, be present, not to be present, like which one should you do? Are you going to be just, you see what my schedule is right now. I'm gonna show you guys my schedule and just like all these different time spurts that I have open for spa. It's like so weird. Like you gotta book between these hours, or I'm not available because I'm like doing ballet, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, and I'm trying to incorporate everything. Also, the amount of money that I was making, I wanted to incorporate other things like lip injections and stuff like that, which I've never done, but I wanted to incorporate those things, which is why I was going to nursing school. I passed the HESI first time, no problem. The HESI is a very hard test to take, if y'all don't know. But yeah, first time I passed the HESI, no issues. I got into nursing school and I hated it. I can't even like pretend that I liked any of it. I didn't. And so I was going to add that on to my spa where I could do medical treatments, and that was my goal. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I hated it. I was like in my second month, and I was just like, this has got to be the amount of work that I was doing. And then knowing that I had to like go and do 12-hour shifts for a year and a half, and I'm not getting paid during that time. But my whole family depends on me. So I would have been okay with that if I loved what I was doing. I'd be like, well, just figure it out. No, I can't figure that out. And I didn't want to. I didn't want to do that anymore. And that's okay. Like, be easy with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't put yourself in situations that you know are making you miserable. Like that was making me miserable. So once I realized I no longer wanted to do the nursing school, it didn't add as much value to my spa as I wanted. And I didn't want to be a nurse. I just wanted to have permission to do lip injections, and I was going to go all the way and, you know, be a RN, become a RN. And that's not my passion, and that's okay. I want to go and unpack my spa. I'll probably vlog that and put that in my weekly vlog, because I am going to start breaking it down in there. And you never know, like the last day of school I cried, and I didn't know I was going to cry. You never know how you're going to respond to certain things. Although I feel like I'm happy and it'll be like a weight lifted off of me. I'll just be like, oh, thank God this is done. But I don't know, for real. When I was in school, a lot of people cried on my last day. People that I didn't even know I affected like that, or, you know, people that I felt like really didn't even talk to me. A lot of people were crying, and they were like, I did graduate a little bit early, but I was like, yeah, this is my last day. You were the most liked person. And a lot of people started crying, and I started crying, and I was just like, whoa, the impact that I had on people really was like, wow, okay, you know what I mean? So I'm saying all that to say, you never know how you're going to respond to something. Although this decision is set in stone, and I'm done with my spa. And I feel like it's going to be good just to know, like, I don't have rent over there anymore. I don't have, like, all my products are at home, and I just probably give away some of this stuff. And if you're in the Denver area, let me know if you need some stuff. I don't know how this is going to affect me. I really don't think I'm going to care. I'm very proud of myself for going as far as I did. You know, I've been by myself for 3 or 4 years, and I was able to do this by myself. And there wasn't a whole lot of help in the process. I'm just grateful for the experience. You know, like, this is dope. A lot of people can't say they've done this. I've owned a lot of companies. This is my first brick and mortars, and I am very proud of everything that I did, down to like the tiniest flower wall. So yeah, all right, so thanks so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys shortly.